Hello, everyone. Today I'm going through my Oscars predictions. I'm going to do it a little differently this year by going through and actually making my picks right here with you guys and going through my thought process. I already know which ones I'm planning to pick for each of them. Um, I've done a lot of research. I haven't watched as many of the movies this year, kind of a weird year for it. Um, it's definitely a lot harder to make the predictions this year with uh, not having seen as many, obviously, but also there's just not a lot of excitement around a lot of these movies. It definitely was a bit of a weaker year, which means we could see, instead of the movies that probably do deserve the awards winning, we could end up seeing a lot of lifetime achievement type awards where people who have never won an Oscar before might win this year. Um, And also, it's a lot harder to predict just after last year having Parasite win. That changed everything. Uh, Definitely shows the Academy's gotten a lot more diverse, which is a good thing for film and for getting new types of film going forward. Uh, but it also makes it a lot tougher to make predictions. Let's get started. Actor in a leading role. So, uh, obviously, this was Chadwick Boseman's last performance, and there's a lot of emotion tied to that. And he gave his best performance of his career. This is one of the movies that I have actually watched. He's great in it. A lot of people are saying Anthony Hopkins is probably actually the best performance of the year, and that Riz Ahmed was also very good. Um, but I think they want to have that moment giving the award to Chadwick Boseman. Almost all of the other major award ceremonies gave it to Chadwick Boseman, except for the BAFTAs, which gave it to Anthony Hopkins. Of the other two, Gary Oldman seems kind of weird that he made it on here. He's always a good actor, but he seemed a little bit miscast in this role. They probably could have used a younger actor for this one. And Stephen Ewan's cool to have on there. He's the first ever Asian American to be nominated. Same goes for Riz Ahmed being the first ever Muslim nominated. Um, Anthony Hopkins also has already won. Same with Gary Oldman. So it'd be cool for them to give Chadwick Boseman the award. It's going to be their last chance to ever do that. So I will be giving this one to him. Actor in a supporting role. Um, of these ones, the only one I've seen is Sacha Baron Cohen in Trial of the Chicago 7. He was very good in it. And if anything, I would say he's probably the runner-up. But Daniel Kaluuya has been winning at all of the other award ceremonies. It seems like it's going to be a for sure sweep for him. He is up against one of his co-actors in that film, Lakeith Stanfield, but I don't think that's going to cause a split in the voting or anything. He should still get it, so that's who I'm going with. Tough to draw these on here. Actress in a leading role. This is probably the most interesting race this year. The only one who I'd say isn't in the running really is Vanessa Kirby. There's much hype around Pieces of a Woman, and she hasn't won any of the other awards. But all of the other actors have a good chance, I would say. Carey Mulligan won at a lot of the critics' award shows. Frances McDormand won at the BAFTAs. Andra Day won at the Golden Globes, and Viola Davis won at the Screen Actor Guild's awards. I think any of the hype around Andra Day has kind of died down. This film, United States versus Billie Holiday, hasn't gotten too much hype. It wasn't super well received. And then Frances McDormand, she's always great. She's won 2 awards already, so the Academy does like her. And she gave a fun speech the last time she won, so maybe they'd go for that again. But her win at the BAFTA, she wasn't up against Carey Mulligan or Andra Day or Viola Davis, I don't think. So while she won, she wasn't really up against the toughest competition. So I think it really comes down to Viola Davis or Carey Mulligan. Um, I think Viola Davis gave more of a performance that they like to reward, but she also doesn't have that much screen time in the film. She almost feels more like a supporting character to Chadwick Boseman in that film. But every time she's on screen, she steals all the attention. She gives a wide range of emotions throughout. Um, and she was a transformative performance. She put on weight, I think, for the role. Whereas Carey Mulligan is very good in it. I really like Carey Mulligan all the time, and I would love to see her win her first Oscar. But she doesn't have that same wide range or a transformative role. Um, so it's tough to choose, but I think I'm going to go with Viola Davis. The Screen Actors Guild Award often seems to be right too. So that's my choice for that one. Actress in a supporting role. This one's also kind of interesting. Most of the award shows have given it to Yoo Jung Yoon, who I think would be the perfect choice for this. Um, she was like a legend in South Korea, but this is kind of her introduction to America here. Uh, the other people who I'd say are close in this one are Maria Bakalova. She won at the Golden Globes, but hasn't won anywhere else really. And also a Borat movie I don't really know is going to get the attention of the Academy. And then Glenn Close has been nominated 8 times, so and she's never won. So they might want to give her that Lifetime Achievement Award. But the only issue is that Hillbilly Elegy is not a very well received movie. Um, I think they just gave her the nomination because it's Glenn Close. She also is for this same role is nominated for the Razzie for Worst Actress, so I don't know that they would give her this one, especially since she has other moves in the lineup for next year, so she could always be back in the running again in another year. And then the next, Olivia Colman is also well liked by the Academy, but she gets outshined by Anthony Hopkins throughout that movie, so I don't know if they'd go with her. I think it seems most likely that it goes to Yoo Jung Yoon for this. And I think everyone would like to see that too. It seemed like at some of the other award shows, the other actresses were very supportive of her winning. So I think that seems like the right choice there. Animated feature film. So they generally always go for a Pixar movie when there is one. And this year there's two. There's Onward and Soul. No one's really talking about Onward or really any of these other ones. It's pretty much all been Soul the whole way. That's kind of it's a Pixar movie and it's a bit more sophisticated of a Pixar movie, so it seems like the perfect pick for the Academy here. Cinematography. So this one's kind of interesting. I think they'll go with Nomadland. I haven't watched it, but that seems to be where the buzz is, and it's been winning at other places. But Mank, I think, has a chance too, just because it's a black and white movie, and they always get some attention. Um, and I don't think any of the other movies really have a chance. So it's pretty much between Mank and Nomadland, and I'm going with Nomadland for my pick. Um, Costume design. So this one seems to be going to Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Everyone seems to like the costumes in that. It's very colorful. These are all period pieces, which they always like. Emma is the closest to what they normally go for, so there's a chance that could end up getting it. And Mank also does the like 40s Hollywood look, but it's in black and white, so it doesn't showcase like the colors of it, obviously. Whereas Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is also based in that sort of 30s, 40s kind of time, more so 30s, I'd say, maybe even 20s, late 20s, um, and has like just very colorful costumes, and I think that'll probably take it. Directing, so all the way along, it's like all the award shows have been giving it to Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. So I think that's probably going to get it. The only one that I think could get competition or give competition to it is Mank, because it's directed by David Fincher and he's never won an Oscar. They might want to award him and kind of make up for him not winning for The Social Network 10 years ago. But I think it seems like it's going to Nomadland. It is also cool that Another Round got nominated here. It's one of the international films this year, and we'll see that come up again there. But Nomadland, Chloe Zhao is the one for this role, or that category. Next, we got documentary feature. I'm generally not too into documentary films, but I've looked up a lot about these. Collective is one of the international films as well. Then the ones that are getting a lot of attention are Time and My Octopus Teacher. Time seems to be really well liked by a lot of people, but My Octopus Teacher is winning everywhere, so I'm going to go with it. But I think Time has a good chance of winning too. Documentary short subject, again, don't really follow documentaries too much. I've been kind of going between, from what I've seen, Concerto is a Conversation, Do Not Split, and A Love Song for Latasha. I think it's most closely between Do Not Split and A Love Song for Latasha. Do Not Split is getting quite a bit of attention for some controversy in China, I believe. But A Love Song for Latasha seems a little bit more timely and to be actually making an impact. So I'm going to go with that one. Film editing. So this one's actually a pretty interesting one. Normally, the Academy always goes for the one that has the most cuts or quick cuts. So Trial of the Chicago 7 is probably the one for that. But at the other award shows, it's been going to Sound of Metal. And so I think that should probably get it. And I think also because there's drumming in it. And last time with like Whiplash, and most of the times when there's like instruments involved in movies, they tend to like that for the editing. I guess for how they have to cut around an actor playing an instrument. So I'm going to go with Sound of Metal to win it. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Trial of the Chicago 7 get it. Also, Nomadland was edited by its director, Chloe Zhao, so there is some interest there too, because she was thinking about how she wanted to edit it as she was filming it, and as she was directing, she had how she wanted to edit it in mind. She had a precise hand in how all that was taken care of. But I still think it'll go to Sound of Metal. International feature film, so like I said, Another Round was nominated in another one, and it seems like a shoe-in. Collective also was nominated in the documentaries, but Another Round was getting some attention for even in the other roles, like other categories, like Mads Mikkelsen was in the conversation for lead actor, and even the whole film itself was in the conversation for Best Picture. So I'll go with Another Round. Makeup and hairstyling. So this one seems pretty obviously to be going to Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Hillbilly Elegy and Pinocchio have some more like extreme versions of makeup and hairstyling, but Ma Rainey's Black Bottom has been winning everywhere else, and I would say it's actually got the best makeup and hairstyling. It's not just like a prosthetic going on someone. So that's the one that I'll give it to. Original score. So this one's actually interesting. The score for Mank is done by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, and the score for Soul is also done by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, and also John Baptiste. And I think that'll end up winning it because it's a movie where music is so important for it. It's all about it. Um, and just they seem like well liked people. Who doesn't like Nine Inch Nails? Original song. So I'm not super familiar with all of these. Like I watched Trial of Chicago 7, but I could not tell you how Hear My Voice goes at all. Um, Husvik, it's kind of fun that that's in there. Eurovision song. Um, but it seems Speak Now is the one that's getting attention, so I'll go with that. So here's the best picture. This is the big one of the night. Um, a lot of people are saying it's a shoe-in for Nomadland to win it because it's been sweeping everywhere else. But the Academy is a little bit different, and I honestly still think there's a bit of a race between it, Trial of the Chicago 7, and Minari. And then I would say like Promising Young Woman is probably a little bit of the outside shot for it. Um, but I'll still go with Nomadland. But I would not be surprised at all if Trial of the Chicago 7 or Minari ends up getting it come award night. Um, just from the way they do their voting with the ranking, where instead of it just being whichever one gets the most top votes, it's based on each member of the Academy ranks the films. And then if you get first, that's more points. Second, a little bit less. Third, all the way down. And from what people are saying, Nomadland is most people's favorite, but some people find it very boring. So they could end up tanking it by giving it like last place votes if they find it boring. And whereas I think Trial of the Chicago 7 and Minari will both be in most people's like top 3, top 5. So it could one of them could end up taking it, but I still think Nomadland will have enough first place votes that it will win. What's next? Production design. So this one seems like a shoe-in for Mank. They recreated Hollywood of the 40s. Last year, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood won production design for recreating Hollywood in the 60s, so I think this one has to take it. Tenet, I think, has a slight chance, same with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, but I think it has to go to Mank. Animated short film. Shorts I never really watch, but everyone's talking about it. If Anything Happens, I Love You. The only other one that's gotten a little bit of attention is Burrow, but seems this one's a shoe-in. I really should watch this one. It's on Netflix, I think. Live action short film is a little bit tougher, but the only one I've actually heard of is The Letter Room because it has Oscar Isaac in it. And I assume that'll be kind of the case for a lot of the Academy voters, is that they know Oscar Isaac, or they're aware of him at least, so they'll go with this one. Sound. This one has, so this year, instead of having 2 sound categories, sound mixing and sound editing, they decided just to combine it into one, because I think a lot of the Academy voters didn't even know the difference between the two anyways, and most times you ended up with the same movie winning both of them, or like if there was a close race on one, you'd end up with one winning one movie, or one category and one winning the other, even if it made more sense for it to be the other way. Like last year, I forget which one won which, but 1917 won one, and Ford v Ferrari won the other. And I think I remember it being that they should have had, I think they had sound mixing going to 1917 and sound editing going to Ford v Ferrari, but it probably should have been the other way. but I can't really remember, to be honest. But this year it seems like a shoe-in for Sound of Metal. It's a movie about a drummer going deaf, so there's a lot of interesting sound stuff they do with that. So I think it has to go to that one. Visual effects. So this one seems to be a two-horse race. It's between Tenet and Midnight Sky. I think Tenet will win it. It's Christopher Nolan. He's really good with visual effects, and feels like that film should win something. It's not really up for too much, so I'll give it to that one. Midnight Sky just has a slight chance because it's a sci-fi film with George Clooney. Give it to Tenet. Adapted screenplay. So this one, I think for sure will go to Nomadland. Borat won at some of the other award shows, but again, I don't really see the Academy going for Borat, and I also don't really know what it's an adaptation of. And The Father could probably have a chance too, but I think this one will go to Nomadland because normally the one that wins Best Picture also ends up winning one of the screenplay awards. And then lastly, original screenplay. I think this one comes down to Promising Young Woman or The Trial of the Chicago 7. Aaron Sorkin is a good writer. He's well liked by the Academy. But at all the other award shows, it's been going to Promising Young Woman, or most of them anyways. So I think that's the one that will end up winning, but I would not be at all surprised if Trial of Chicago 7 ends up taking it. So that's all of them. I've got Nomadland winning 4 and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom winning 4. But of these ones that are up for Best Picture, Nomadland's got the most for me. And then Mank, which is nominated for the most things, I only have winning 1. And Trial of the Chicago 7, I have winning none of them. But it's like runner up in so many categories. I could see it ending up like messing up a lot of my predictions. So I think it's a very close year. Very few of these categories do I feel like are a shoo-in. Like I think Speak Now is probably a good one. Original score is probably good. Makeup and hairstyling, probably another round. Film editing, I'm not certain about. All the documentaries and shorts, I'm not certain about. Actor in a leading role, I'm pretty certain on, but I think it's like 70% chance that it'll be Chadwick Boseman. And then like 30% chance it'll be Anthony Hopkins. I don't think the other ones have too much of a chance. Daniel Kaluuya, I think, is kind of a shoe-in there. Both the actress ones I'm not certain about. Animated film I'm pretty certain about. Cinematography I'm not. Costume design I'm pretty certain about. Not too certain about directing. And then I'm not too certain about either of the screenplay ones. Like if anything, I'd say I'm more certain about Nomadland winning that, but even then, sound I'm pretty certain on. And production design I'm pretty certain on. So that's only 9 out of 23 there that I'm fairly certain about. So for all I know, I could end up being wrong on. I could get all 9 of those right and then be wrong on all the other ones, and I'd have a much worse score than I did last year. Last year, I think I was pretty certain about 14 of them. But yeah, that's just how it is this year. I think next year is going to be a very exciting year for the Oscars. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of very good films because so many were pushed back to this year. So I can't wait to see all of those films come out and then get to make my predictions next year because it's going to be a lot more exciting, I think. What do you guys think? Have you seen any of these films? Are you looking forward to checking any of them out? Let me know. Thanks for watching.